Well, good morning. I'm going to see if I can do this real quick here. It's about 7 o'clock in the morning. We finally went to bed about 2 a.m. We had such a beautiful time walking around. It was so beautiful last night, except for the mosquitoes. Oh, I got a mosquito on my head. Okay. Hey! 12:30, and we are at the Arctic Ocean sign, so that's nice. Being attacked by mosquitoes. Yeah, got the bug heads on. We don't have the bug nets on, but yeah, sorry. Can't hold hands when you're trying to, ouch, holy crap. Yeah, I hope you can see them on the screen and on my hands. Okay, that's enough. You might be able to hear it already. We're not gonna have a problem with mosquitoes this morning. And remember that beautiful calm ocean we had? Well, it is 12:30 in the morning. The sun is still way up. It's going to be up. And there is not a ripple on this ocean. I've never seen anything like this before. And I am just getting inundated by mosquitoes, so this is gonna be a quick one. The beautiful calm ocean is now huge waves coming in, crashing in. Pretty incredible change in 5 hours. You can see the waves crashing in. And the sun has moved from about that position across at 7 a.m. to the go up there, that position. Pretty crazy weather change. All right, as we say goodbye to the Arctic Ocean and its fury. So far the dust isn't too bad, but I will say that painter's tape for the win, let me tell you, it's keeping the dirt and dust out. We opened up the back end to get the kayaks out last night, the kayak, and it was pretty decently clean. In fact, I think it's dirtier inside the rig than it is inside that garage, so that was pretty nice. So, hi everybody. Corinne cleaned off the loon last night to show somebody that there's a loon in there. It looks like I gotta climb up and clean off the cameras. And the air conditioner has been running the last few days. It was in the high 80s. In fact, it hit 93 degrees. We were driving around here yesterday. It hit 93. I don't know if that's an official temperature, but man, it's crazy. It's crazy. Crazy. And now today it's 62, high humidity and 28 knot winds out of the northwest. Wow. Glad we went out last night. After only about 5 hours sleep last night, away we go. We've got 2 long days of travel ahead of us. Sorry, no more hitchhikers, we're full. So, we left you off 10 minutes ago. Have you seen the whole town? Okay. Oh, that's just awesome. We got to say goodbye to our new friends, Jim and Susan from Florida, before we left town here. So, as we leave Inuvik and drive through the city, in our last video, I had told you that we might have a new passenger, and in fact we do. Our second hitchhiker of the trip, Robin, a pedal biker from the East Coast, joins us for the ride down to Inuvik. They had put new chipped gravel on the highway here for the last 60 miles from Inuvik up to Tuktoyaktuk. Very dangerous for pedal bikers, and they had just done it, so it had not made any of the news that these bikers look out for. And so she had made it up to the top of the world, but we were going to give her a safe ride back. It was a great time, good to meet her, and Brinkley obviously got a brand new friend to snuggle with. Yesterday we tried to kayak out to the Pingos here, but that did not work. That was featured in the last episode, the last video. These Pingos are pretty cool, and this is the second largest one on the planet, the largest over in Alaska. So we made it to Inuvik. We filled up with gas, took care of a little bit of shopping, dropped Robin off at a local hotel. And we had a long couple of days ahead of us, so we got going. But I wanted to do more drone footage. I wanted to be able to capture what this tundra looks like and what the mosquitoes out here look like. Here's the Dempster south of Inuvik. And I think this really captures a cool area. It's one of the many culverts under the highway. In fact, I think I read somewhere, maybe in the milepost, that there's like 300 culverts under the Dempster Highway. Really loved this area. There was a pull-off, which would be a fantastic boondocking spot off the highway. But just wanted to capture, again, what the tundra looks like up here. It's so cool with these boreal forest trees. And this river through this area was quite spectacular and just beautiful. The green and the way that the grasses underneath the water swayed around. I just loved to be able to see that. And of course, I was looking for wildlife again and was skunked again. So we're waiting for the Mackenzie ferry, and I've got it in reverse, and we're looking at the reverse screen, and I just thought you'd like to see that. Hey, Break, what do you think? You want to go outside for a walk? I think they could chew for a while. Yeah, that's what you'd want to do is shimmy, Brinkley. You're right. Now, when you're traveling up here, you have to remember that these ferries are free, but they can shut down at any time. In fact, they were shut down for a day or two before we got up there, and we heard later that they were shut down for almost a week due to a mechanical breakdown. And so that happens, and you have to prepare for it. There we go. That's what I thought, dude, but... Good four-wheel drive. So we got some company behind us. Last time it was a big 18-wheeler. This time it's a big forklift. And we are off. Mr. Toad's Wild Ride. What do you think? Put her in drive, step on it, and jump this thing. Woo! That'd be a fun way to end our, well, end the camper.
End our trip.
End our trip, yeah, it might be. The two ferries here, the Mackenzie and the Peel River, are fairly close, but in between there is Fort McPherson. And it's a good idea to get gas. Every opportunity you have to fill up with gas. On our way up, Eagle Plains had run out of gas and we had to spend the night there, so you don't want to miss an opportunity. After leaving the gas station, it was time to use the Peel River ferry. You can see this ferry is run by a cable, which is kind of cool. Not quite as large of a river as the Mackenzie, so it can work that way. And it's time for Brinkley to get out and get a little exercise and do his business. We were pretty doggone lucky on the first part of this trip with mosquitoes and biting flies and stuff. but not all the time, as you can see in this video. Well, it's time to say goodbye to the Northwest Territories and enter back into the Yukon. We are crossing the border up there. We are about, in 3,000 miles into our trip from back home in St. Paul. We've got probably 8,000 or 9,000 miles left in the trip. We have surely loved this area, and the Yukon has just won my heart, to be honest with you. I hope that Alaska lives up to everything that we've heard and read about it. Those photos there at the Yukon sign were at 9:30 at night. It might have looked a little earlier, but it wasn't. We've pulled into our boondocking spot for the night. It's well after 10 o'clock, and we are due for a huge thunderstorm overnight. And we wake up in the morning to kind of clear skies, but these clouds rolling down over the hill across from us were just too cool to not photograph. Well, we'll see if we can make this work without a ton of wind. What a difference 48 hours makes. We went from calm winds, calm weather, and hot mid-80s Fahrenheit, high 20s Celsius to pretty big lightning storm last night with rain. This is where we pulled over and camped last night. Snow everywhere. No, not snow everywhere, but there's still patches all over the place as we drive. Quite a few of them have been 5 to 6 feet thick as we've driven by. Just a nice quiet place up in the Richardson Mountains. Today is Eagle Plains and getting past that fire. We have no idea what that looks like right now. Excuse me. And then into Dawson City, where we hope to pick up some gold panning pans to use the next day on the free claim site. That'll be fun. See you there. So we've started our journey today. It's 58 degrees and the rain is holding off. The mosquitoes are coming in the van. But we have our first grizzly bear of the trip. It's quite a ways out there on the prairie. Well, it's not prairie, but all right, I've got to roll up the window because the mosquitoes are going to eat us alive. But our first grizzly and our clean windows. Through the bugs on the windshield. That's what it looks like sometimes. I'm throwing in some of the footage of just driving down the Dempster. Everything is shake, rattling, and rolling, but I must say our Winnebago EKKO is holding up pretty good, and we've heard some horror stories of cabinets falling and stuff, so we're pretty happy. I got enough pictures. Okay. I got it. Good boy holding your Arctic Circle certificate, Brink, and now back in the van before you get eaten by mosquitoes. Oh, the mosquitoes are just relentless. It's freaking crazy. Oh man. The wind really helps, but they're still horrible. So we were here the other day, it was in the low 80s and sunny, and now on the way back down it's currently 59. Big lightning storm last night. We just saw our first grizzly. That was kind of fun. And it's kind of, I don't know, because this is a one-way up and a one-way back out road, it's not as much fun on the way out, I gotta be honest. We know what sections are going to be bad, and so we're preparing for them. We're still thinking of that forest fire. There's the road way up there, by the way. So, yeah, it's going to be interesting. And of course, you have to stop at the Inuvik Visitors Center to get your certificate of passage across the Arctic Circle certificate. Ooh, it's even embossed. and they were kind enough to give us one for Brinkley. That was pretty nice of them. We had a great time in there talking with a couple of the employees. No mosquitoes yet. No mosquitoes yet. This ridgeline of the Richardson Mountains is just so incredible with all its different peaks. So we're gonna drive in here. This is that Eagle River.
Well, where we were gonna try to
where
get
we
to
were gonna
last
try
night.
and camp. Yeah, either last night or when we came up with.
Oh.
We would have camped down here if we would have been able to get gas. We would have come down here. And we probably would have stayed there last night, but that thunderstorm was catching up to us pretty quickly, and we didn't feel like driving another 80 or 90 miles with that coming. So we wanted to just pull in here and check it out because it looks like a great boondocking spot. Yeah, this would have been perfect to camp down here. Nice and quiet, off the road. Not that we'll be using it anytime soon, but hey, maybe in the future. We've been hearing a lot of the legendary stories, and this one was the Mad Trapper of Rat River, so we had to take some pictures. That was pretty funny. I guess the best way to say it is these roads can be pretty crazy, and they are different around every corner. I know I've said that. Next service is 370 miles. Nah, that's 370 kilometers, Steve, south of Eagle Plains, which we're about to pull into here, which is about 230 miles, so you definitely need to fill up. So we pulled into Eagle Plains, hoping they had gas, and they did. When we were coming up the Dempster, they only had the manual pumps open, and they had ran out, so we had to wait overnight. So now we had to get in line behind the card lock, and there was a truck there delivering gas as we were there, so that was good news. But there was a lot of traffic. That was pretty funny. Rush hour at the Eagle Plains gas station. All of those trucks and Jeeps that were in front of us in line to get gas had almost ran us off the road north of Eagle Plains. And so I was happy that they were getting gas and would get out of there, but then all of a sudden they were behind me again. So they must have went inside and grabbed some lunch or something. And so I just found a nice place to pull over and let them go, which works very nicely up here. In case you haven't noticed, there's a lot of gravel up here, and it changes around almost every corner. Another thing there's a lot of, dust. Every time there's a truck, there's dust. Every time there's a semi, boy, you can really tell when they're coming because it's a different plume. Okay, so as we sit here on the side of the road, using my well-purchased windshield repair kit on a medium-sized rock that tried to impale us. I just don't want it to get any bigger. I don't want it to get into a bigger crack. So we're in the middle of a forest fire area that was probably from 5 years ago or so, it looks like, with the green growth, maybe a little longer. I'm gonna send up the drone so that you can see the area here, but it's just desolate. There is nothing except this little pullout and the moose. Today's drive is pretty good. Not too bad on traffic. The last few pullouts when we've gotten out with Brinkley, the mosquitoes and the gnats have been horrific. We're actually pretty lucky here. We've got a breeze and it's not too bad. So I'm gonna walk across the road. I wanna zoom in on something here. These burned out trees are incredible. And a lot of our drive is this way. It looks like this up here. This is a boreal forest. And this is what the trees look like after a forest fire. But now we've got 4 or 5 or 6 years of growth, so we've got wildflowers coming up. We've got new trees growing. We've got bushes. There's probably a grizzly bear listening to me right now. Hey, bear. That's what it looks like. Some beautiful flowers. Even over here now, the mosquitoes aren't too bad. I'm not getting eaten. That's a rarity up here. As I send the drone up here in search of the elusive grizzly bear, or moose, or caribou, or squirrel, or rabbit at this point in time, I'm reminded that when I was doing my research on this trip, when I was doing the research for going up the Dempster, I was afraid. I was scared. I didn't know what to expect. So if you're watching this video in anticipation of going up here this summer, next summer, whenever it is, just know that it's not that bad. It's not as bad as I thought it was going to be. We put good tires on our rig. We're driving an all-wheel drive vehicle, and we had no problems. It was great. The dust was the biggest problem. And it got a little rainy on this way down, and it was a long day, 350 miles or so we're driving on this day, but it wasn't that bad, and we are so glad we did this part of the trip. We are on day 30-ish, and we've got about 50 to 55 more days to go, but this will be a highlight. I can tell you that for certain. So far, our biggest challenge hasn't been the roads or the road conditions. It's been the smoke and the fires.
Well-drained slopes. The highway winds up the 300-meter high escarpment of the Eagle Plain Plateau. So that's what we're going to do.
Yeah, just FYI,
Yeah.
we missed the fire.
Yeah,
So it's been put out. So there it's
Yeah.
gone. So I missed getting an opportunity to get a video of this beautiful lake on the drive up as we hear a thunderstorm in the background. The water was emerald green and it was just beautiful. Now we've got a couple new fires burning in the area. And a thunderstorm brewing, which has been dropping rain on us for the last half an hour or so. But yeah, this was just such a beautiful area. Big hill in the background. And just in case I don't get this video later, I think someone needs a bath. Wow, someone needs a bath. One other thing to keep in mind is we've had a lot of people ask us, how are the roads in this section? Or how are the roads north of Eagle Plains, for instance? And it's absolutely impossible to tell somebody because they change all the time. In this area, there's a grader working, an active grader, and the road is horrible. Now, tomorrow, they might be finished with their work and it might be great for a few days. Or it might be rainy and that will make it very different than when it was dry 4 days ago. So the roads are very unpredictable. So is the smoke. The smoke in this area you can see is getting really bad. There are some very active fires in the area. This actually isn't the worst. We're just north of Tombstone Territorial Park, and all of a sudden it's gone from washboard roads to potholes. We haven't actually had that many problems with potholes so far. And this section of the road on our way up 4 days ago was almost perfect. So just goes to show you just can't tell what kind of condition the road is going to be in. But this is absolutely no fun. And all of a sudden, the potholes are pretty much gone as we pull into the Tombstone Territorial Park parking lot. We borrowed a book on our way up that they give folks that is a guidebook to the Dempster. It's a pretty good book. Look into it if you get there and if you're looking for some guide help other than the milepost. But it's good to have a road that's in a little bit better shape for a little while. Somebody's in hiding. Oh my gosh, we've lost a moose. Oh man, this isn't too bad. The sun came out for a little while here. It was a good opportunity to get Brinkley out and walk around the park and the campground, clean off the rear view camera before heading off the Dempster. Well, we are officially off the Dempster. The moose has totally disappeared. Corinne cleaned that one a little bit. That looks great. It looks like the tape job worked wonderful. And we are going to go get dinner and get this rig cleaned up. Calcium chloride is used to keep the dust to a minimum, and you have to get that off your rig as soon as possible. So from the Dempster Highway, where we crossed the Klondike River there, it's only about 40 kilometers into Dawson, which, 25 minutes or so. And we needed to go into town. We needed to get some fresh water. We wanted to pick up some dinner. Oh, I was just craving Chinese or something. And from there then, we were going to head back out of town a little ways and head down the Bonanza Creek area, which is where the original gold strike was in the 1896 gold rush, Klondike gold rush. And there's a dredge out there that you can tour, and so I'm going to do that tomorrow. That'll be fun. That'll be in our next video. And there's the free claim site where we can use our gold pans that we are going to pick up at the visitor center and become rich. I mean, of course, we're just going to become rich, and we'll sleep out there for the night. It's a good boondocking spot. Pretty sure there will be a few other rigs out there. It seems like there are quite a bit, and we'll see how it goes from there. I wanted to kind of get a lay of the land, and so we pulled into the Discovery Center here, which is the area, kind of a little touristy area where they believe gold was first found on the Klondike Gold Rush back in 1896, 97. Boy, there's lots of active gold mining going on back in here. We're still going to head out into the woods a couple more miles to get to where the free gold site is.
Claim free gold pan, claim number 6.
There we go. Right there's more of it even.
All right.
Oh man, look at the two big rigs here.
Yeah.
Holy cow.
So where do we go? Where do we find our spot? We'll just do it here.
Yeah, amen, huh?
Go up, turn around, and park in front of this blue one.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. He's got serious levelers there. So does the guy in the back. So we are boondocking up at claim number 6 above Dawson City. It's a Klondike visitors claim, open to everybody. We're going to do some gold panning tonight or tomorrow. We got a couple of other really nice rigs here staying with us. One from Switzerland, and the one behind it from Germany. And then we're slumming it on this side of the road. Beautiful sunset. Unfortunately from the fires, and we just learned there's a pretty big fire just started at the entrance to Denali today. That's where we're going to be in a week. So we can see how nice and dirty this rig is. Hopefully I can get her cleaned off a little bit here tonight. I've got 30 gallons of water to use up before we refill in Dawson City and leave town for the top of the world. Let's see how we can do here. I thought you'd like to see the amount of mud and dirt coming out of crevices. Like I said, I think we're going to be washing this thing out for a long time to come. At least I can see it's a moose. Well, I got part of it done and then ran out of water. We'll get more tomorrow. Hopefully a good night's sleep, fun day in Dawson City tomorrow. And then we might take off for top of the world, we might not. We will see. Right now we got big clouds and fire haze. We're in a beautiful little area here. Well, we've started untaping everything. And the tape kind of worked, but it's pretty dusty in there. Yuck. Well, it turns out gold panning in a freezing cold creek at midnight is hard work, so we are heading to bed and we will see you in the next video.